Israel has been making swift progress in its COVID vaccination campaign. It currently has the highest vaccination rate in the world. But that's only for its own population and not for Palestinians living in the occupied West Bank and the Gaza Strip. This week, though, the government bowed to international criticism and began immunizing Palestinian laborers who work in Israel. DW's Tanya Kramer filed this report.
A vaccination center at an Israeli checkpoint between the West Bank town of Bethlehem and Jerusalem. Here, only Palestinians holding a permit to work in Israel or in settlements are vaccinated by Israeli authorities. As a young person and a Palestinian worker, I can take the vaccine, but at the same time I think of my father and mother who didn't get it yet. I'll feel better when all my family members have been vaccinated. Israel aims to vaccinate about 100,000 workers who cross over from the occupied West Bank to Israel every day. The country has faced criticism abroad and at home for not providing vaccines to more of the Palestinian population. Israel's interest is clear. In order to open the economy and return to normal, we need everyone who is moving around inside Israeli borders to be vaccinated and safe. But in the Israeli-occupied West Bank, ordinary people are still waiting for a broader vaccination rollout. In Ramallah, nurse Itaf has only a few vials to administer to her fellow medical colleagues. The Moderna vaccines were part of a one-time delivery by Israel. A small amount, but still seen as a relief for those having to deal closely with patients. We as doctors and nurses are on the front line. I wish that everybody will get vaccinated like this, so we will be protected and have the capability to move on and fight the disease. The Palestinian Authority says it has procured vaccines from different companies, but it has come under public criticism for delays in delivery. In February, 10,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccine arrived from the Russian government. Vaccines through the COVAX program, providing vaccines for lower-income countries, are also expected. The situation here is deteriorating in Palestine, but also, as in several countries around the world, as a result of the late arrival of the vaccines. The discrepancy in administering the vaccines does not bode well in bringing the end of the pandemic any closer. About 2,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccines were sent from Ramallah to the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip after Israel approved the transfer. The blockaded territory also received about 60,000 vaccine doses from the United Arab Emirates for a population of 2 million. And it's crucial. Infection rates in the West Bank have soared in recent weeks. In this private hospital on the outskirts of Ramallah, medical staff have seen a sharp influx of serious COVID-19 cases attributed to virus variants. Until 15 days ago, the corona ward was half empty and we were emptying the department. Suddenly, huge numbers started coming to the hospital. All of a sudden, the hospital became full. Restrictions were tightened once again in the West Bank recently. A curfew on weekends and at night was already in place to curb the pandemic, while the wait for more vaccines continues.